Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we continue our Ayumi Hamasaki album A Week Music Marathon with my review of her 9th full album, Guilty. Before we get started, I want to remind you that this is simply my opinion on the album, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Guilty is Ayumi Hamasaki's 4th album to come out on January 1st, and unlike the previous 3, this album is not among my favorite of hers. It actually is the album that, for me, started to show signs of my interest in her music getting not as enthusiastic as it used to be. However, that doesn't mean there aren't good songs on this album. Actually, I liked a majority of them, and especially on a lyrical standpoint, there are some of her finest ones, such as Don't Leave Me Alone or Talking to Myself, which are ones that I find to be really bold and unfiltered on this album. This one also deals a lot more with rock music, a bit like My Story did, although here everything feels even more raw and aggressive, and also self-analyzing, and even with interesting lyrics, I do find this album to lack the diversity or energy to really make it stand out on its own. Even the singles released prior did not impress me much, especially Faded and Glitter, and the ballad Together When also feels like a pale copy of Jewel, which doesn't quite achieve what Jewel did in terms of emotion for me. But there are some highlights, such as Marionette, which has this very creepy atmosphere to it, a bit like a music box. Although the lyrics are nothing new really, it is a theme that she has worked on before. We've heard that before when it comes to the lyrics, but the melody, I think, at least tries to be different from the rest. The album also does like a bit of direction, and we go from Marionette to Glitter, even with an interlude in between, but at this point on this album it really feels like interludes are just used as excuses for the album to not be as coherent and not flow as well. And it's like, oh, here's an interlude, right, that makes things go smoother, but it doesn't really in this one, and it's a bit weird. At this point I was like, why just bother with interludes? They really, on this album actually, they kind of disappointed me because they don't bring much to it. And of course we get the obligatory summer song, and it feels very cheesy, you know. Glitter, I'm not into it at all, and there's something about it that doesn't feel as genuine when it comes to the music, because the ones from the albums before always felt to me like, you know, it was like, hey, fun summer song, but we're gonna try to be a little bit different and very fun, and this one just doesn't have that spark to it. I think what bothers me the most about Guilty is that the album feels more like a step backward than forward when it comes to its sound, and instead of, you know, maybe trying to get into a new territory, everything feels a little bit too safe and kind of the usual, except it doesn't hit you as much, or at least it didn't to me, and I think that's why I never really connected to it. Even if it has some good songs, there is never that moment that makes me go, oh, this is absolutely amazing on this album, and it's a shame because I think it really had potential to be incredible, just like the previous ones, but Guilty never really hit the mark with me, and that is why I give it 3.5 stars. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to tell me what you think of the album down below, and I'll see you next week for my review of Next Level.